Good afternoon, 3:15, 4/12, April 12th, Wednesday. And what a day it was, huh? What a day, what a day, what a day. CPI this morning at 7:30, and things came in a little cooler, just a little bit. It was mostly led by energy names. Not names, but energy prices, which obviously crude at a pretty lowly end of the quarter in March, and it's a month-over-month number, so these are March numbers. And obviously, crude is up, about $6-7 since then. So CPI came in a little cooler, but it did have its biggest reasoning was energy, which has immediately gone back up in price. So there's a little bit of that. I hate these. This stupid. There's a little bit of that, and the bigger thing was, well, two things. One is, let's see, I forget which day it was. In December, we had a similar move where we spiked huge and then sold off the rest of the day. Today's spike and sell was quite dramatic. God, these sellers are relentless today. Just drip it out, non-stop, drip it out. Anyways, so we had a big spike to start the day, a massive spike right up into resistance, that 41.77 number in the futures market, which equates to about 41.50-ish. 41.50-ish on 2030. What's the discrepancy? I keep forgetting. It's what, 35, about 32. So minus 32 is it 32? It's 20, 25. It's 25. Sorry, it's been a long day. 25 from 77. So yeah, like 41.50 on SPX. Obviously, SPX doesn't open until 8:30, but the futures are open 24 hours a day. So this spiked right up to what SPX 41.50 would have been. And then it got smacked down. And then it got smacked down again. And then it's quick to see. So this is a 3-minute chart. So within the initial spike, 7:30, within about 20 minutes, half hour, you could start seeing this thing was already starting to trend back down. And this is my algo line. Obviously, this is not a perfect thing. It's not. It's hard to trade, but you will get a good look at this. Good look to see what the trend of the algo. And the algo is just heavy seller, basically right after that initial spike. Tested it back down. Tested it again. Kind of rolled the rail. Tried to break out. Failed. It went right back under the trend line, and then tanked. And then it came back. Popped above the trend line. This was the market open right here, up here. So market open, they tanked it under, got back through. But the NASDAQ had no interest today. No interest at all at any sort of fun. So tried to hold this 41.52 line, which is right around 41.25, which is a big number for the SPX. And it take back down. And you can see the volume down here. This is a huge volume day. You can kind of see a little better here. This was yesterday's volume bars. These sell orders were huge, massive sell orders. But you could see them shut it off, right? So then it tanks back down, and then it shuts off. Kissed it. This was a huge support area. This was 4,100 on the SPX, which is obviously a huge number. We've been trending right around this number for months. So it was we important for bulls to hold, and they bounced it pretty aggressive off it, and then rode it back up. What, 20 points. Two reasons why. One, the algo shut off. I said this yesterday. If we tanked, and yeah, I guess you can call this a tank. 41.78 down to 41.22 is about 55 points. I mean, yeah, it's a tank, sorta. I mean, that took S&P to -8 on the day. So in perspective, not really a tank. I mean, the day. Sorry, I got a lot of bars up here. I'm just gonna clear this all out, actually. I mean, the daily looks pretty fucking ugly, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we came down and tested the 40.84, so like 40.50, 60 on the SPX. Just to hit some moving averages a little bit, see if we can find some real support. But again, I mean, look at where we're at. Is this future? So, you know, this one doesn't really trade much back then. We'll switch it up. It's gonna make a noise, I bet. Nope. I mean, we're right at where we were in May of 2022, so, and right around the D's highs. So, I mean, we'll see what tomorrow brings. We definitely will. Anyways, I want to get back to this real quick and finish this up because I'm starting to get a little too thoughty when it's supposed to be a public forum here. So anyways, we rallied back up. And we did exactly what we did going into the CPI number, or right after it anyways, is FOMC minutes came out at 1 today. So right here. So a little pop drop, a little volume spike, and then a big dump here, and then a big spike. But if you notice the spike here, the bounce, I should say, obviously a big green bar, but not supported by volume at all. That's an exit liquidity bar, catch retail on a bounce. And then they just fucking hammered it. Volume spike, huge red candle. And then they just did their relentless, endless offer thing, where every uptick was met by more. Every little bump got smoked. Until kind of the end of the day, we broke key support at 4,100. Then we kind of bounced back up. I think we got down to 4,180. 4,186. And then tried to rally back up to that key 4,100 number. Got damn close, but no cigar. Anyways, two things. One, yesterday I mentioned that if we have a big tank, we will be at least slightly supported. And I mean, the volume today was massive. Yet, we weren't down all that much. At the end of the day, down 16 points. That's nothing. We'll see what tomorrow brings, because I think that's when our real trend starts. But, I mean, right now, it's interesting, because I think net positioning is still mega short. Twitter's cheering their fucking heads off that it's a crash is here. And, you know, it might be tomorrow, but cheering that on today seems a little premature to me. Anyways, that's what I want to talk about, is when the FOMC came out, it wasn't the best minutes. It's the first time they mentioned mild recession is possible. they weren't quite sure if they had debate on whether or not to raise rates or to, and then so they had a discussion about not raising them, and then they were unanimous in raising them, which makes you think, they maybe shouldn't have, but then we're told, let's vote unanimously. And I don't remember the last time we had a dissenting vote. It's been a while, but basically it just caused confusion and the added rhetoric of mild recession was added, which we haven't heard him mention that at all. It's always no recession, don't see a recession. So obviously that spooked the shit out of the markets. But again, everybody's already short this thing. So, I mean, if net positioning wasn't so short, I would say we'd probably be down testing that 4,000 number maybe. But because everybody was so short already, it's a lot of buying. The sellers did a great job knocking this thing down. I mean, that's why volume was so high today. But it should be a very interesting rest of the week. I think it's funny that that Twitter is all. I don't care if you're a bull or a bear, but just hush it down. We're literally where we've been forever. What it feels like forever. Like I don't know how short it if it makes sense to, but I played a little long side early, then downside late. I got chopped up pretty good today because I didn't think we had this type of sell off in us. But I mean, ultimately, the perma bulls and perma bears keep getting slaughtered, and the pigs that normally get slaughtered are cleaning up because we don't have bias. We just have, where's the market going right now and how can I capitalize on it? And that's really what it comes down to. This is a trader's market. It just is. When you have high frequency trading at all-time highs, you have market makers being the most manipulative as they have ever been. You got intervention everywhere. I mean, it's just how do you invest? How do you hold a long-term short on this, or a long-term hold, or a long-term buy? Long-term long, I should say. I just don't see how you can do it without losing your hair, unless you just, pick some individual names and hope for the best and don't look for a couple years. But that's not why we're here. We're here to trade this thing. We're here to capitalize on these moves, and that's the goal. All right, enough rambling about that. Looks like they're selling in the aftermarkets too. Just a slow and steady throttling. Unlike no volume, 0 volume in the after hour right now. Let's see. So I keep seeing on Twitter as well, everybody wants to short the shit out of Apple. And I wouldn't advise it. Out of all the names you can short in this market, you pick the absolute stud. The absolute stud. Who's run like a fucking I don't even know what to call it. It's the best run company that this market has ever seen, and people want to just two-hand short it. They have more money sitting, doing nothing, than the market cap of, I think it was 95% of the S&P. That's the name you want to short. And at the same time, they want to long Tesla. I don't know where these people are coming from, but Tesla's run like shit. Their CEO is too preoccupied with Twitter. I love Twitter. I love Elon Twitter. I think Elon Tesla is not investable. I shall put it that way, I guess. And yeah, it's a car company. It certainly is. But I mean, I just don't understand it. Out of all the things to short in this market, like chips who have really low margins, some of these crypto names that are run by crooks. I mean, the banks. Remember we had a banking crisis? Now no one's talking about that. Now they're talking about shorting Apple. I don't get it. But teach their own. Anyways, I just wouldn't advise it. I mean, yeah, we could get a sell off and this thing could drop $5, maybe $10 over the course of a couple months. But to think you're making serious coin shorting this thing, you're mistaken. Sadly mistaken. So I'd just be careful who you follow out there, because there's some silly takes and some very stubborn ones where they won't change their mind just ever. They just have it in their head that Tesla's the best in the world and Apple's overpriced, and it's kind of the same crew that's been saying Nvidia is overpriced for the past 100% rally. And again, like, all right, short. If you want to short some, short Nvidia. Clearly, it cannot break through 277. It touched it, got pretty close today, and then just straight fucking down. So if you want to get a little toppy, yeah, just short Nvidia. That one's got room to fall if this market tanks. You're collecting at least 40 points on that. No, people are silly. And it's points, it's not handles. Oh, the handle conversation annoys me. It's points. You can call them dollars if you want, but points. It's all points. Handle is like in the old trading days. See, I'll show you again on this card. No, I don't know why I crossed that out. Hold on. A handle, for the ones that want to know. So let's say you're trading soybean oil again. 10 bean oil. December contract with that guy. So bean oil is, if you break it down, it's priced in cents per gallon. So if you look at bean oil now, I think it's, I don't even know if I have it up. Did I forget what the symbol of bean oil was? Soybean oil. ZL. That doesn't sound right. Anyways, a gallon of bean oil right now is 54 cents for the gallon. Well, it's 54 and 11 hundredths of a cent. So a handle is when it's 54 and it's moving around, it moves around in hundredths of a point. So the second decimal. So this thing could be 54 cents all day, but it could move, up 80 cents and it's 54.91. The 54 is the handle. 54, the dollar amount, is the handle. Because when you're in the trading pits, this is where it came from. When you're in the trading pits, you don't have time to say, 54.11. Just 11. Sold at 11. Or I bought 10 at 11. That's it. 54. What's the handle on that? 54. When you go back and check it. What was the handle? Oh, yeah, it was 54. That's what a handle is. It's not points in the market. Anyways. It's just the little things, you guys, that add up to big things. And today, a lot of little things added up. All right. Let me shift a bit. Just annoying. ENVX, hell of a day actually. Hell of a bounce. So this thing closed over 14. It looked like it was trying to give back all of its gains. It did not. It held. It held the rest of the day. I do have a resistance number at 1406 that seems to be working today. If you check it out, there's a few rejections of it. But this thing, on days like today when you have these massive reversals, I think I've mentioned this before, but these were the days where this used to drop 6-7%, trigger that stop loss or the short restriction, which means you can't short unless it upticks. You can't just keep pushing it down. Anyways, this thing used to drop 7-8% on days like today, like butter. And the last few times this has happened in the market, this thing hasn't done that. It's held, or it's had a couple down days, but every stock goes up and down. But the characteristics of how this is acting is drastically different. I think that's a good sign. They also announced they have earnings on the 26th. So that's 2 weeks from today, and that should be a big one. If they hit those numbers, I think we're back to these recent highs around the low mid 20s. I think we put in a base already. Obviously, if they miss those numbers, things change. So don't assume that's not possible. It is possible, but based on everything they've been doing ahead of schedule, I'd be shocked if they missed any numbers. In fact, would be a little surprised if they didn't exceed numbers a little bit. Excuse me. I gotta sneeze. Alright, it's gone for now. I wouldn't be even slightly surprised if they exceeded numbers and have more announcements and maybe even have some sort of new partnership. Oops, sorry. They are clearly ramping up fabrication. They're talking about increasing speed tenfold on their original. I mean, these guys hit the ground running in January, and they're flying now. So market down April 26th for ENVX earnings, which, when they announce earnings, now the market is now positioning itself for that report. So the fact that it held support today, or held its green day today, usually a good sign that they might run this up into earnings. So it could see a 2-week run here. If it does, and it gets up to like the high teens or so, don't be shy about trimming your position if you've been following since 6 or so. I mean, $7 to 18. That's a pretty good return over 2.5, 3 months. Just trim it. Maybe write some calls or something. I guess write puts. No, you write calls. Yeah, write calls. But yeah, keep an eye on that one. Rum loves this 9 number, that's for sure. It had a nice spike into the close, which is always good, but basically 3 days closing in the exact same spot. Trend line is still up. Clouds are still good. Volume today was a little increased on the downside, but I don't know, we'll see. We said it would be a rocky road, and certainly has been a rocky road that always ends up in the same place for now. So anyways, rum's doing all right. I did mention NEM maybe last week or so. Had a good run. Now it's coming back down a little bit. Kind of where it started when I mentioned it first. Gold is still cooking. I mean, I don't think gold's going anywhere soon, especially if everybody thinks this market's going to tank. Then, gold should probably go up. And NEM is set up for a big run if it does. Let's see what else we got. GDX made new highs today. which is interesting because NEM settled down. Let's see. Just pop 2 points for once in your life today. Bank earnings are coming up this Friday, I believe. Let's see who's reporting. That should be a telling one. With all this bank turmoil and everybody's terrified of banks and the banking crisis and the world's ending. This should be a very good one. Let's see, anybody tomorrow morning? Nobody really of interest. United Healthcare, JP Morgan. Friday morning, Wells Fargo, Friday morning, that crooked ass company. BlackRock, Friday morning. Citigroup, Friday morning. First Republic Bank, Friday morning. If they come out and surprise, they're gonna, dear Lord. If they come out and surprise, this thing can squeeze $5 easily. They are still reporting, right? They didn't delay that. If someone's watching and knows if they delayed it, please comment. Let's see. But if they surprise, good God, I might take a position on this one. Just the surprise things aren't as bad as everybody thinks they are. I mean, the 1550s expiring this week is there's 10 cents. That might be worth a kick. That might be worth a kick. But yeah, if they miss, then it doesn't work. Then they're 10 cents, so know your risk. 10 cents, 10 contracts, $100. If it goes to 5, it's 5K. There you go, done. Yeah, I'll do that. That's called risk reward. Know your downside's $100, and if this thing rips and everybody and their fucking mother's short, you could easily squeeze the $20. Easily. Look at that thing. You could easily pop to 20. And if it doesn't, you lost $100. That's a good trade. Chips back in the shitter. Yeah, this market is just making minced meat of the perma bulls and bears. I feel like I'm ranting. Am I ranting? I feel like I'm ranting. Yeah, I've gone on way too long. All right, that's it. CPI was cool. FOMC, Fed doesn't know what they're doing. Scare the market. We tanked all the way to down 15 points on the day. So, perma bears, you can celebrate your 6-hour victory for now, I guess. See what you guys can do tomorrow. Bulls, I mean, you don't need any words of encouragement or deterrent. You're doing just fine. But yeah, the celebration on the Bears is pretty hilarious. I don't know. I mean, the charts do look a little dicey at best, to be honest. So if we don't go and if we don't tank tomorrow, we make new highs, then you know that the Bears are full of shit. Again, we're back at May 22 highs. Right at the collar of July and August last year. The collar of the Head and Shoulders. If banks beat, I mean, I think you should see a short squeeze like no other, but we'll see what tomorrow brings. All right, I'll see you guys later. All right, be safe. Don't do anything silly. Expect more chop tomorrow, actually, going into the bank earnings. 4,100 makes total sense going into the bank earnings, actually, now that I think about it. So be good. Love you. Bye.